Hey folks, another match in the Grim Division. Myself and Ren Nerd playing on Big Race. And we both got pretty good spawns for this one. Down on the south side, which is where I like to be, particularly in destroyers. So I don't think I really need to tell you what we're going to do. You'll be able to guess. Team comp is actually surprisingly even. 1 carrier, 4 battleships, 5 cruisers and 2 destroyers per team. As far as destroyers go, the enemy have a Griamashi of their own and what looks like an Izakaze, which could be troublesome in close quarters fighting. Their cruisers are mostly squishy things we can easily kill, and their battleships aren't going to be too much of a problem, I'd imagine. Of course, myself and Ren both make a run straight to the Thunderdome. There's really nowhere else you want to go this early on in a destroyer on this map. Sometimes it can work rather poorly if a lot of the enemy team are focusing their attention this way, but in this case it worked out rather well. We get some early shots on the Congo, try and burn him. The enemy destroyer actually triggered smoke there, which covered us from the Congo. It can't see us, even though we're firing our guns. And so we know we've got company here. We just don't know which destroyer it is yet. Here it is. It is indeed an Izakaze. The Grim's 130mm guns will make short work of this thing, as long as we can actually hit it. The main concern isn't its guns, it's its torpedoes. I really don't want to be hit by any torps, if at all possible, and the Izakaze's torps are really difficult to dodge at close range because they travel so quickly. However, he doesn't last long to our combined fire, and we begin lining up our next target. Now, this Congo is not very smart. When you bring a battleship through this area, you're pretty much begging to be hit by torpedoes, because there's always destroyers here. Well, almost always. And so I begin lining up a shot. I fire them right past Ren. Normally I wouldn't do this, and if I'd hit him there it would have been very bad, but because we were in TeamSpeak together, I felt pretty safe firing them that close to him. I just told him to watch out. Don't do that in a pub match to people who aren't in a division with you with voice comms. It's shitty and you'll probably hit them. Anyway, with my torps away, I begin focusing on the Tenryu, who's probably the biggest threat to me at the moment. Now there is of course another cruiser immediately to my left, but I just focused on this guy since he was giving me nice broadside shots. He also fired all his torps at me, but they were very poorly aimed and in widespread anyway. I pick up a torp hit there on the Congo, Ren finishes off the Tenryu, and then I'm allowed to focus on the second one here without worrying about my right side, well, now my left. He also is a horrifically bad shot with torps. I don't know why he would fire them widespread behind me, but whatever. I fire a spread in his general direction, not really expecting to hit him, just to kind of spook him out. Unfortunately for me, the Congo is now well and truly pissed off at me, and begins focus firing me. I do actually score a torp hit though on that Tenryu, which kills him. So that's good news. I popped my smoke to try and hide myself in the Congo, at least until my damage control team came back up. With no engine, you know, you don't want to be seen. You'll die very quickly. There's incoming fire there at my last spotted position from the enemy Omaha, but my engine's now up and running again, and so I don't have to worry.
Engine boost deactivated.
The enemy is sending some torp bombers our way. They're making a turn which suggests they might actually be stupid enough to try and bomb us. However, our anti-aircraft shoos them away momentarily, and then by the time they come back in for their attack run, they're down to 3 bombers. Now, I nearly steered into that torp, which was pretty risky, but I do get away with it. And my AA guns begin engaging the second squadron of torpedo bombers. This carrier must be really worried that we're going to come and gank him, because normally you wouldn't expect a carrier to do that. I mean, I've had videos up where it's happened. I think one of my recent ones, actually, the carrier was trying to kill me, but usually if a carrier is that desperate to kill destroyers, it means that you're very close to them and they're starting to panic. I fire off some more torps there at the Congo as he comes around the corner. Unfortunately for me, it looks like he's actually paying some degree of attention, and so I shift fire to the Omaha as I wait for my torp tubes to reload. Ren's still alive, at least for now. Looks like the Omaha is in fact focusing him. And at this range you can see that the Gremyashi's guns, while excellent at close range, are really struggling with that Omaha's armor. It's mostly angles at this range. The Omaha doesn't really have any spectacularly good armor, it's just that my shells are hitting him at such a skewy angle they're bouncing straight off. Switch to HE and begin engaging the Congo. You can see that my torps just missed completely. His guns are pointed at me, which scares me a bit, but I push my luck and manage to set him on fire. Steer a little bit too late to evade those, but thankfully they don't do very much damage. Obviously he's still got AP loaded. And seeing he's probably going to die to one of those torps, I hold mine, but he actually turns inside of them. So I fire off 2 spreads there. Completely unnecessary, actually. If I'd paid more attention to his hit points, I wouldn't have bothered, because he was just going to burn to death from fire anyway. Down he goes. His final broadside misses completely. And I get credit since it was my fire that killed him. I now begin firing at this Omaha again, this time with HE, hoping to burn him down. I don't really want to switch to AP until he gets closer. Unfortunately for me, his fire is a lot more effective than mine is at the moment. My aim is just all over the place. And so although I do finally land some hits, he's knocked all my hit points off, and there's now an Arkansas right in front of me. Or rather, to my right side, there's an island in front of me. My torp tubes are reloaded though, so I fire some off the Arkansas. I didn't really expect him to be stupid enough to drive into those, but, you know, you're not going to get lucky if you don't try. So I fired anyway. But it looks like he's already beginning a turn away from them, so he must have noticed me fire. In fact, he seemed to begin a very slight turn there, but then stopped and thought about it, and he instead elects to stop and reverse away from the torpedoes, which resulted in all of them missing him, but if there'd been any friendly battleships in this area of the map, he would have probably died for doing that. So not really advisable. You can see there that he was reversing as I came around the island. His guns are pointed at my last seen position, so he's going to have to traverse his turrets around to hit me. I do go here for a fire. I was hoping to get one, but his rear turrets are already traversed onto me, and here comes death. Ren had already been killed earlier, but we had a pretty decent match, all things told, and the enemy are down to just 2 ships, a battleship and a carrier, as the 3 battleships and 2 cruisers are left on our team, as well as our carrier, all pushed towards them to finish them off. Now, I'm not going to continue recording to the end of the match because nothing really much happens. It took our battleships a hell of a long time to actually kill that Arkansas because they weren't very good shots. So I'll end this one here. As ever, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.